Hey guys, welcome back to episode 4 of our behind the scenes featurette on the making of The Being Who Fell from the Stars. Today, we are going to look at the VFX shots, all the special effects that went into making this film. Let's break it down. Action. Step into it.
Thank you.
And then maybe there's like a smile of like a light bulb moment of the turn, you know?
Yes.
Now, I was lucky enough to be able to edit this film while I was shooting, mainly because we were shooting in April and I had to have a finished cut by the end of school, which was May 10th. And so I was shooting and editing every single day in order to get it done. And I realized midway through editing that it wasn't quite clear that the alien was bringing a sound to this world. So I knew that we needed some sort of physical representation to kind of show that the alien is bringing this sound.
We were really looking at some examples of analog effects in early cinema, German Expressionism. You know, one of the films we talked about was Metropolis, and there's a scene where there's this robot who's waking up, and there's some really incredible analog effects, lighting effects that were used in that scene. And we were thinking, you know, how can we sort of replicate that? You know, I went into After Effects, I was doing some tests for a while. I ended up coming up with a sort of a template design, which is just sort of these hand-animated emanating line effects, which had sort of this organic movement to them. You know, because I was able to sort of give them a little bit of randomness in the motion by animating them by hand, I think it helps sort of create that uneven, sort of organic analog look.
Now for that big finale dance number, I knew we needed an audience shot. I knew we needed a wide shot where you could see the whole stage and see the audience and see that they're performing for a huge crowd. The only problem? It's hard to get 40, 50 people to come for a couple hours for no money. So I reached out to as many people as I could.
We weren't able to get as many people as we wanted to. I think we had somewhere in the range of like 5 people there that day. So Jacob and I were like, what do we do? You know, it was really down to the wire, I think, when we ended up coming up with a solution, which was like, you know, let's try to do this in After Effects. Basically, we would just have groups of 5 people, and we would split them up, so it wasn't always the same order of people. We would have them sort of switch orders so that it was created another layer of randomness. We would move them along the seating that was in frame, you know, 5 chairs at a time, and then we would create masks in After Effects. And of course, to accomplish that, you have to have the camera be static. So, you know, we had, through the process, which probably ended up taking like 30 minutes, moving them around, we just had the camera rolling on sticks. Then in post, you know, we just had to create those masks for every single one.
And here's another shot I wanted to break down. We had this great city shot that was essential to the story of the film, where the alien proudly is walking around in human clothes, only the human clothes is a dress. So people are still giving him weird looks, even though he thinks he's finally going to be accepted because he looks like everyone else. Action! So we have this great shot. Only problem, look up there. There's windows with anachronistic things all inside them, and you can see inside the building. This was bugging me for so long, and I actually did some screenings with it like that until I realized I could actually mask out one of the windows and place it in the other one so that way we could cover up all those windows. So having a basic understanding of VFX is really essential when you're doing run and gun filmmaking, because then you can know what can and can't be done in post when you're shooting. Now the spaceship set that we built was actually the only real set that we had to make, and that was built by some carpenters from our theater department. Now I was able to reach out to the technical director again of the theater department, and he was able to help us build the structure of the set, where then I was able to paint and decorate it like I wanted to. And so I built some different modules, and then it was really just finding scraps, finding yogurt containers, finding different caps and bottles and tape and things, wires that I could glue on to create a sci-fi 50s look. Now, it's not the best spaceship in the world, and you know, I wish it could be bigger and better and more detailed, but For what it is, I think it looks really cool.
All right, action.
So guys, there you go. That's the end of our behind the scenes featurette series. We looked at how we achieved the period look with production design, how we achieved the cinematic look with our camera and lights, how we collaborated with other artists, and also how we achieved some of the VFX. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and let's make films.